6 things I wish I knew when I first started trading. How much money I could have saved if I just knew these things. That's what we're going to be talking about in today's video, and I hope you enjoy it. Grab a pen and paper, grab a coffee, sit down, and get ready for the show. So the first thing that I want to mention to you guys is don't be too hard on yourself. Trading has got to be one of the most exciting journeys anyone can discover. Not only do you have the opportunity to change your life around, but the lives of others around you that you love, and you also have the opportunity to become your own boss, be in control of what happens in your life, build something for yourself, and many more things. Now, one thing that I wish I really knew or did in the beginning was have a lot more fun with my trading. Unfortunately, I was too wrapped up in all of the above, and that took a lot of attention away from the learning process. Like, any hobby that you get into, you're not expected to be so good at it in the beginning, but as you love what you're doing, you keep on going, and eventually over time, you get better. But you only get better because you identify your progress. But as traders, we all relate progress with making money and being right. And this was my downfall. And because I was not getting the results I desperately wanted to, my growth as a trader took a very long time. So my advice to you all is this: start on a demo account, trade a small account, and for the next 12 months, execute as many trades as you possibly can and focus on one thing. Identify what is working, eliminate what isn't, and make a plan you can execute and rely on to make you money once you have enough experience. Don't focus on money now, just have some fun. And that is tip number 1. Don't be too hard on yourself. And here we have a beautiful trade on pound Aussie dollar 4H time frame. We can see the market's been trending to the downside. We have a really nice deep pullback into this level, a strong bearish engulfing candle. Is this a trade we can be taking? Absolutely. And let's see what happens with this one. Beautiful trade. Let's move on to point number 2. Point number 2, embrace your losses. When I started out trading, if I lost a trade, it almost felt like it was the end of the world. All that hard work, waiting patiently, being disciplined, walking away, all that usual rigmarole that we read about on a daily basis, it never really paid off. To me, this was one of the hardest things I had to deal with. The type of person that I am is if I put my mind to something, then I'm going to get results. And for me, that was always the case when I was growing up. So when I started trading, and I put everything into it, and I still had a series of, let's say, consecutive losses, it really hurt. And one thing that changed for me was recognizing I was no longer working for a paycheck. I was working on building my future. And when I realized this, everything changed. And a quote from Henry Ford still rings in my ears. And he said, "The only real mistake is the one from which we learn nothing from." And that was life-changing to me. My losses were not a reflection of my progress. They were an opportunity for me to grow. And I say grow because a loss doesn't mean a mistake. What is a mistake is if I take the loss personal and then go on to revenge trade or chase my losses. Once I knew I was in the pilot seat, no matter what the results were, that's when I started to turn things around. So remember, traders, losses are not your downfall, they're inevitable. What is your attitude and behavior towards them. So point number 2, embrace your losses. And here we have another beautiful trade on New Zealand dollar USD. Again, a trend to the downside, a really nice deep pullback into this key level. And we can see that prices respect to this structure with a nice bearish engulfing candle to the downside. Can we take this trade? Absolutely. But as mentioned, losses are inevitable. Let's move on to point number 3. Point number 3, walk away after a win. Most people talk about walking away after a loss. This is true, but one of the biggest discoveries that I had as I started to become more consistent and profitable as a trader was when I won a trade and continue trading, I'd either give back all my profits or loss more than I won for the day. Let me say that again. I'd either give back all my profits or lose more than I won for the day. And I know it sounds crazy, but what I later realized as a trader was that whilst I was growing in consistency, I had to learn to appreciate positive results. And that positive results was a stepping stone closer to my goals, my dreams, my desires, to become a successful trader. And there was no way to make this happen quickly, especially trying to take more trades, which seemed at the time the only way to make it happen faster, rather than just accepting my winning results. And a quote from Jim Rohn really changed everything for me when he said, "You cannot change your destination overnight, but you can change your direction overnight." And this held true for me. The more I focused on 20-day cycles, 60-day cycles, and 90-day cycles, that's when my trading took off. And I appreciated the process, which I talk about so much now, and you hear me say it all the time: trust the process, trust the process, trust the process. I've never looked back. So in the beginning, focus on one trade at a time. Minimize your losses by walking away, but also learn to appreciate your growth and walk away after a win, no matter how big or small it is. So we have a really beautiful trade here, and this is what we call a breakout trade. The previous two trades you saw were deep pullback trades, but what we have here is really strong bearish momentum, finally breaking below a level here in the market. And with this bearish close, it may not seem significant to you, but it is significant in this scenario. But just to be safe rather than sorry, what we're waiting for is for the momentum shift below the current low in anticipation of a new low to be made, and we can take this trade pretty comfortably. Very nice trade. Let's move on to tip number 4. Point number 4, don't overcomplicate it. This was tough for me when I was a trader, I'm not gonna lie. Getting mixed results and then seeing traders on Instagram and YouTube banging it out, getting better results than me, or so it seemed, it became extremely demoralizing. I just couldn't get it around my head why I didn't know the secret. It kept me up to early hours of the morning, and it woke me up at silly hours of the morning. Now, I'm not going to say this was a bad thing, but I guess, I was only trying to discover what would work for me. But it became a burden eventually, and I was constantly trying new things instead of just sticking to one thing for long enough. Now, I'm a consistent and profitable trader now, and one thing that I do want to advise you is just to focus on one thing at a time. Firstly, avoid chasing the holy grail, because it doesn't exist. The last 3 years of being in the public eye as a trader and mentor, I've seen more trading gurus come into this industry because they've got funded, and then, more gurus than the amount of babies that are born each day. And what comes with this is the best entry techniques, the best stop loss placement, the best reversals, the secret to identifying key levels, how I flip my 200 account to 10,000 overnight, the only 1 minute time frame strategy you'll ever need, so much more that comes out of this. And what can we gather from this? Well, what we find is that if you're not getting results, then you're likely missing out on the best of everything else that everyone else knows that you don't. So my point is this, traders: focus on simply trading trends. When the markets are down, sell. When the markets are up, buy. And when they're not, just stay clear, stay out. You all know how to trade, and you just got to keep it simple. So point number 4, don't overcomplicate it. So here we have another breakout trade. Again, we have a trend that's pushing to the downside, a lower high structure, a nice breakout trade. Can we take this? Absolutely. Just part and parcel of the business. Let's move on to point number 5. Point number 5, your daily habits and routines affect your trading. As a trader, you're not running a garage sales business. Trading is a very serious business, and your daily habits and routines have a massive impact on your results. Trading is a mental game, and if you live your life and fill your mind with garbage, then you can expect the results you get from your trading to be garbage. I don't want to come across as a motivational speaker right now, but if you are not focusing on your physical and mental well-being, then you are most likely to be the type of trader that is affected by the most immediate outcome of your results, because you're trying to fill a void that is missing from your own life because you haven't got that aligned with what is needed to be able to cope with what you need to transition from, which is a 9-to-5 worker, to a successful businessman or woman. Aristotle once said, and a quote that I really love: quality is not an act, it is an habit. So if you want the best out of your trading, then you have to focus on what you're doing outside of it first before it becomes an act you can perform on the charts. So we have another trade here. The previous 2 trades were breakouts, and the 2 trades before that were deep pullback trades. We have simple trend trading technique here, where we have a broken trend line, we have lower lows and lower highs, and what we're anticipating now on this 5-minute time frame is a lower high formation to make a new lower low. Can we take this trade? A nice little finale there after a few clicks of the button. Let's move on to our 6th and final point. Point number 6, quit trying to remove emotions. This is the dumbest thing that I've heard, and I wish I knew it earlier. Remove emotions from trading. WTF traders, we are not robots, and we will never become robots. Trying to remove emotions from trading is like drawing blood from a stone. It will never happen. The more energy you give to trying to figure in this one out, the more depressed and anxious you will become. You will always think that you're doing something wrong, that someone out there knows something that you don't, or that there is something terribly wrong with you because you're always feeling a certain way when you are trading. Today I want to just tell you to get over it, let it go. You will never ever be emotionless as a trader. No matter how experienced, how consistent, how profitable you are, those feelings and emotions you are facing now will always be there. The only difference is that you can and will become more aware of them, and that will lead you to making better decisions and take better actions. And a quote that I once read said this: "Don't let your emotions distract you from doing what needs to be done. Control your emotions, or your emotions will control you." So traders, you can choose to believe me, or you can learn the hard way. But become a master of yourself, or let your emotions be the master over you as you continue your quest on how to become a robot versus trusting the process and working on what is most important. So a final trade here on pound USD. We can see price failed to break the highs. Another 5-minute trade where we have the shift in momentum, potential lower high retest. Can we take this trade? Absolutely. Traders, sometimes you win some, sometimes you lose some. I hope those 6 points are of use to you, and I really do hope that they'll benefit you in your trading as you continue on in your journey. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button, subscribe if you're new to the channel, turn on notifications, and as I always say, continue to trust the process.